I've lived in a lot of homes. I lived in Chicago, best deep dish. Philadelphia, awesome cream cheese. Zephyr Hills, amazing water. Orlando, Disney World is great. Mariana, it's not even on most maps. And finally, Miami. During that time, we lived in a lot of houses, but there is one house that meant a lot to me. The last house I lived in with my parents before I moved out with my wife. It was also the house I filmed most of my movies in. Back in 2014, I shot some footage of the house while my parents were preparing to move out. Yep, they were leaving the place. It was a big house and only 3 people were living there. So, it was time to say goodbye. I finally decided to look back on that day and show you some of my fond memories of filming at my parents' place. The foyer was the first place you'd see when you'd enter my house. It was also heaven at the end of Schwarzenegger vs. Stallone. Why? We were really rushing to finish that movie. My dogs all cameoed in the essence of soul swapping here, and the second episode of Roommates, my first web series, ended here. I got books thrown at me. I next moved on to my hallway. I used to call this the Hall of Memories, because my mom put a bunch of photos from our history as a family here. I know it's cheesy, but I liked it. We didn't film a lot of things here, but for the few things we did film, a lot of them were some of my favorite jokes and shots. In Schwarzenegger vs. Stallone, the Clark scene, which is just so well acted, took place here. Mr. Agent walked down here, which I loved filming. It's one of my favorite shots from my older movies. And my favorite joke from the Roommates movie took place here.
I figured my watch is somewhere in here. I need it because I got a date tonight and I can't tell the time without it. I'm sure I hope my alarm doesn't go off.
My sister's old room was really cute looking at one point, so it was Lewis's room in Roommates, because that's funny. Clark used it as a checkup room in Schwarzenegger vs. Stallone, and my friend Brian and I woke up in our underwear for The Essence of Us. We did some weird shit in my sister's room. What an odd thing to say. Part of the big fight scene in The Essence of Us was shot here, including my first partial nude scene. Appropriately, I was taking a shit. We also filmed the second to last puking scene my friend Brian did for Schwarzenegger vs. Stallone. At this point, I had covered everything on the left side of the house and decided to make my way to the kitchen. The first fight scene we ever filmed was partially shot here for The Essence of Other Things. We also did the 8th episode of Roommates here, which was also a big fight scene, and I passed out as Jack Sparrow for my final movie shot in my old house, Crazy Random Happenstance the movie. The living room was home to 2 fake parties done for Roommates. We did one for the pilot episode, and then we did another one for the movie. I always felt the pilot looked better, but I was able to make the movie work too. The hallway leading to my old bedroom had Brian and I sneaking around in Schwarzenegger vs. Stallone, which was one of the first non-speaking scenes I ever did. We also had the classic Roommates reaction shot to some things going on in the bathroom. Speaking of said thing in the bathroom, Billy from Roommates the Movie Experience made sweet, sweet love to a corpse here. And I portrayed Cokehead, brother to Pothead, for an extra long scene in The Essence of Us. Aside from coming up with a lot of ideas in this room, my bedroom served as a location in many of my movies. My room doubled for Terry's room in the Roommates movie and show. It was also JJ Mayhem's room in a few movies, though I would always switch between my house and Brian's for different movies. In The Essence of Other Things, one of my favorite shots for Chris's room was shot here too. Good times. Many fight scenes were shot outside here, all choreographed by the very own Brian O'Leary. Specifically, the ending fight in Schwarzenegger vs. Stallone and the fight in The Essence of Us. Also, through the magic of editing, Brian's bird Blue attacked my friend Nolo here. Not too many shots were done outside, but when we decided to film outside, it was a lot of fun. We had that fight from The Essence of Us take place here, at least partially. John infiltrated Stallone's base here, which was all Brian's idea, and also hilarious. And in a movie I didn't even know was being made at the time, Rob stared through my gate in Roommates the Lost Episode. If I had stared out my window at that moment, I might have been clued in on what was happening. Thankfully I didn't. I've lived in a lot of places, and in a lot of houses, but this one was so special to me. I actually have a fantasy of buying this old house in the future and making it my own. I don't know if that will ever happen, but it's a nice thought. Either way, I have all of these memories, and a ton more I didn't even mention on here. So here's to my parents' house, a place full of memories.